What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily, your source for daily tech news. Make sure you subscribe so you know what's going on in the world of tech. How is everyone doing? Let's get into the news. First story of the day is about who has the fastest LTE speeds. OpenSignal did their testing to see who had the fastest LTE speeds out of the four major carriers here in the US of A, and between T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, and Verizon, and number one was T-Mobile. Of course, they seem to always win this test, and they had a score of 19 megabytes per second. And last was who else? Sprint, which is also expected. Number two was Verizon. Number three was AT&T. All of 1, 2, and 3 fairly close, within 1, 2, 3 megabytes per second. So if you want the fastest LTE speeds, average-wise, go to T-Mobile, but ultimately that doesn't tell the full answer. Obviously you want coverage. To me, I think coverage is more important than anything. Sure, you can have amazingly fast speeds, but if it doesn't work everywhere, then you're gonna have an issue. Just an example, when I was in Las Vegas, my friend had T-Mobile, I have AT&T, and I had coverage way more places than he did with AT&T, and my speeds were not that bad. I didn't have issues where it took forever to load a website or watch a video. It was perfectly fine. So keep that in mind. Sure, you want the fastest speeds, but coverage, I think, like I said, ultimately is the most important thing. Next up is about Project Phi. If you don't know what Project Phi is, it is Google's answer to a cell phone carrier. Basically what it uses is T-Mobile and Sprint at the same time on one carrier. You won't really know which one you're using. Basically what it does is it switches between the two carriers, whoever has the best coverage. So if you're in one area where Sprint is really good, it'll stay on Sprint, and then once that starts getting sucky, it'll automatically switch over to Sprint, vice versa, and you get your own cell phone carrier per Google. Well, it looks like in the past it would cost $20 for unlimited text and unlimited voice, and then $10 for every gigabyte that you use. So it would get very, very expensive, especially when you compare that to, say, an unlimited data plan on Verizon or Sprint or whoever else. And it looks like they've actually changed that with now bill protection. And it allows you to max out if you have a single line at $80 per month. You get unlimited data, talk, and text. And then after 15 gigabytes, it possibly will slow you down your data. But it goes further than that. If you have up to 6 lines, it'll max out at $275. Again, it's not a bad price, especially if you don't use a lot more than 15 gigabytes of data. You won't pay anything more over that 15 gigabytes of data because it becomes unlimited. It'll just slow you down potentially. So not a bad deal, especially if you have a Pixel phone or a Google phone or one of the Motorola phones that are compatible with this service. Next up, there was a huge leak by Droid Life that they leaked out, letting people see the next line of phones that will be out for 2018 for Motorola. You gotta check this out, especially if you're interested in Motorola phones. All of them have 18:9 aspect ratio, so they look very, very modern. First up with the Moto G6, you've got a 5.7-inch 1080p display, 3 or 4 gigabytes of RAM, and you're looking at 32 or 64 gigabytes of storage, and then also it's going to have a Snapdragon 450. Next up, you got the Moto G6 Plus, and this will have a Snapdragon 625, 3, 4, or maybe even 6 gigabytes of RAM, 32 or 64 gigabytes of storage. Also, the price will be pretty low at around $330, and you're looking at a screen size at 5.93 with a 1080p display. Moto G6 Play has a 4,000 milliamp battery, so really big battery, 5.7-inch, 720p, 18:9 aspect ratio display, and come around $230, so fairly cheap for that phone. Moto X5 will have a 5.9-inch 1080p display, borderless design, a smart camera on the front and the back, and Moto XP's smart AI. And lastly, you have the Moto Z3 and Z3 Play, which come with Moto mods, immersive 6-inch 1080p display, intelligent smart camera and Moto experiences, and also the ability possibly to have a Snapdragon 845 and a 2K display. And our last story of the day is about Samsung's new AI chip that should be included in the Galaxy S9. If not the S9, then definitely the Note 9, and it is supposed to be more advanced, more complex than what you get with Apple's AI chip and Huawei's AI chip to the point where it can do more things and more interesting things. Now you're probably gonna ask me, what are those interesting things? What can it do? We don't know so much of that yet, but ultimately saying that, you know, the rumor coming out that it will be able to do more complex and handle more complications at the same time versus an Apple chip and the Huawei chip, that is exciting and could lead to many, many things. I'm excited about AI because I want it to simplify what we do as humans. When you get a lot of these smart home products or smart things, you have to set them up yourself, and it adds a little, it's not so smart at that point because you're setting it up. It'd be nice to see if this AI takes it to the next level, this artificial intelligence, you know, takes it to the next level and does it for you just based off how it sees you and you know, sees you how you use these things and use other things like it to make your life simpler and easier. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every single day. My question of the day is, what do you think about artificial intelligence? Does it excite you? What use cases have you seen and used with it, or do you want to use with it so it simplifies your life? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you down the road. Peace!